Fake politicians in the neighborhood.
Let's go.
Fake politicians in the neighborhood.
Welcome to the show, Smoke and Mirrors. We up.
You know what I mean?
I told y'all I was gonna get this done, man. We ain't playing. We gonna get this done, man. We in the spot, man. It's your boy No Game Feed. We live from No Game Discounts. We in the studio. We about to get active. We about to talk some shit. Good morning.
Moving bass like it's 88. I'm talking major weight, niggas state to state. Fiends love that taste, so they scrape the plate. Brother, before I eat your face, I'll say my grace. Amen. Empty out the safe.
I got my co-host CNOTE LOS with me.
We about to talk about some politics.
We about to get real with this shit, man. For real.
Fake politicians in the neighborhood.
We about to get real, man. We about to get real. Real situated.
Fake people working in our community saying they love the hood and they here to help the people and the children, and they not. That's the topic.
My money talks.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit. Never talk in the courts, nigga. Shut your lips.
Welcome to the show.
In the courts, ain't no rocker shit. Nigga hating for this bacon, nigga. You can suck a dick. Suck my dick. I gotta get away. These niggas, they don't wanna see a nigga play. These niggas, they don't wanna see a nigga play.
That's what they are, right? Politicians.
I gotta get away.
Political liars.
I gotta get away.
Let's go, man.
Where are they, yo?
Political liars, baby.
These niggas, they don't wanna see it.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. We about to get real deep with this shit, man. We about to talk some shit. Shout out to everybody tapping in. If you ain't here yet, we gonna wait for everybody to get in. We gonna talk about some real shit. If you want the link to the show and you want to be a guest on the show, you want to talk, all you gotta do is say, yo, send me the link.
No extra ish.
And we'll do a guest at a time. Let's go.
No games, not playing with these hoes, man. Propane flaming niggas like some low man. No games, not playing with these hoes, man. Propane flaming niggas like that Chinese chicken. I gotta get away.
Yeah, we about to take off. It's about to get real out here.
These niggas, they don't wanna see it.
About to get real out here.
I gotta get away. I gotta get away. These chickens, they don't wanna see a nigga.
Smoke and mirrors.
These niggas, they don't wanna see a nigga pay.
We gonna get into some shit.
I gotta get away.
Yo, welcome to the show, Smoke and Mirrors. I'm your boy. It's your host, your boy, No Game Feed.
Role achieving go-getter. You made your schedule. You called the shots.
Got my co-host, CNOTE LOS with me. We're going to talk about some things. There's a lot of things going on in the city and the neighborhood that you're not aware of. And we're going to bring it to you live from the streets, live from the podcast. We're going to set this podcast off because this podcast is needed. When you're tired of being gassed, right? When you're tired of being gassed and you're tired of people feeding you a bunch of BS, we're going to get into the situation. We're going to talk about it. Now, I'm going to start this off by saying, yo, vote for my brother Kwame Dixon, District 3. He's running for councilman. He's a guy from the community, our community that's been railroaded, targeted. Black people's been mistreated. He was one of them. He changed his life. Shout outs to Fly 4 Seasons, Step 6680, Birkin Bags 100. Kwame Dixon is a person I know very personally. You know, he's the father of my niece. Don't get me wrong, we all grew up and we was out here being young, crazy teenagers, hard-headed young men. But my brother has made a full turnaround. He does for the neighborhood. He has a produce section in the projects where he grows fruit, vegetables, and he passes them out in the community heritage homes for free of charge. He also has a program where he teaches young kids about construction, home remodeling, and everything. I'm very proud of the brother and the turnaround he's made, and I support him. At the end of the day, we're going to talk about the phoniness that's going around in the city, and it's at the hands of a woman that I thought was close to my family and friends of my family. Her name is Angela Farish, the self-proclaimed godmother of Horton Avenue. I wonder where she got that idea, but we're going to get deep into the situation and talk about some real stuff. Angela Farish was working for Housing Authority for decades. She was on a team when Mr. Horton was on a team. He was being investigated for stealing all that money. She was the secretary. Somehow she becomes the head of housing. I wonder how. She says she's the godmother of Horton Avenue. She got with Kwame Dixon to come up in the Heritage Homes and quote unquote tried to speak to the neighborhood because she seen Kwame had some respect, and myself got some respect in the neighborhood by the young brothers, so we could get them to listen for a second. And she took full advantage of that, and now she self-proclaims herself the godmother of Horton Avenue, which is false, a false statement.
False prophet.
That lady don't do nothing for Horton Avenue. The
False
only time
politician.
that lady showed up on Horton Avenue when Horton Avenue suffered tragedies, only deaths. She came with water and some snacks. She tried to bring Yadira Ramos up there to Horton Avenue to act like they were so caring and concerning. Angela Farish is a feminist.
She's a fraud.
Angela Farish was real tight with Kwame Dixon, and now there's some woman whose husband's a housing developer. Angela got motives. So automatically she cut Kwame's throat, after being so concerned and tied in and tried to make it look like she was so concerned about her own people. She stabbed him in the back, and now she's campaigning for this woman. She's going into the neighborhoods and the communities telling people to vote for this woman. We don't even know nothing about this woman.
Right.
She's never lived in our community, so why would our community vote for somebody who's not from our community?
Bingo.
And it's us as a people, because we've done this for years. That's how Yadira Ramos won a seat as councilwoman right now, is because she came in on the back of Noam Bramson, who did nothing for the neighborhood, lied and protected murderers. And he came in on the back of Jared Rice, a black person friend I thought was a friend of mine, who don't acknowledge me at all, except when he's outside this judicial system. Knowing that the judicial system is treating black people wrong and mistreating us, and they targeting our communities. And it's like the racial stop and frisk is still happening. But at the end of the day, I'm speaking about it. The system, New Rochelle, just tried to give me 5 misdemeanors for it. Angela Farish's fake self came, called my phone, and said, how you doing? She was going to see if she could make it at my next court date, blah, blah, blah. You supposed to be a friend of my family. You lied at my mother's funeral, bless her heart, and said you was my mother's best friend, which was a lie too. Angela Farish is a politician.
A fake one.
She's a political liar, and she's not even in office. What she's doing is she's like sucking blood from the black community and fronting like she care. And she don't. The only time she cared about Heritage Homes is when her family lived in Heritage Homes, and they don't live there no more, so she don't do nothing. Angela Farish, I got a personal question for you. What have you done for the neighborhood besides bring the waters and stuff when somebody done got murdered or it was a tragedy?
Right.
You out here lying to these people, telling these people on the other side of the fence that don't worry about me, you got me. How you got me? I don't know how you got me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your credentials. What did you do? The only things you do is for Bracy Apartments. How you go into Bracy Apartments and tell the tenants that they can't sign whatever papers they want to sign?
Wait, for the people, excuse me for a second, not to cut you off, but when verify for the people what you mean by that when she say she got you. What she mean?
That's what I mean. I don't know what she meant by that, because right now at this particular moment, I am going to court and having some situations with the judicial system and the police department. And ever since June 6, 2020, my brother was murdered. Kamal Flowers was murdered by the police June 5th of 2020. Ever since June 6th of 2020, rest his heart, I got up and spoke about the police. The police don't want to hear nothing I'm saying. They know I'm not going to stop. So the so-called black clergy leaders, which is Angela Farish, Minister Mark McLean, bozos who never do nothing for the neighborhood, they try to come in the neighborhood of Heritage Homes and try to diffuse the situation, which it can't be unless some justice is served. How y'all gonna get us justice? Y'all no different from the political people who came through New Rochelle before and used the black community as a target and as a mark, as a focal point to exercise your political campaign to think that y'all going progress. That stops now. This is a personal challenge to my community. The Heritage Homes, the Lincoln Avenue, DeWitt, Webster Avenue, Horton Avenue, Crosby Avenue, Coligny, all that section. This is a challenge to y'all. This is a personal challenge to y'all. Y'all gonna vote for somebody that never been in your neighborhood, never interacted with the neighbors, the residents, nothing. Y'all just gonna place a vote because Angela Farish tell y'all to place a vote, or y'all gonna place a vote with a person who's in the community, who's doing for the community, who's actually putting his hands in the ground. Angela Farish, I haven't seen her get on her knees and use her hands to dig up no plants, no nothing. So please tell us what you mean by you got me. You can't even control your own family. So what do you mean by you saying you got me? That's what I want to know. There's some things that's going on within your family I don't want to share because that's personal. I'm going to give you the opportunity to lay it out. Since you want to lay out everything else on everybody else, we see you campaigning for the pro-woman. You ain't nothing wrong with being a pro-woman. But if you in a position where you have to be fair and non-biased, you're not good at doing that. Very biased. You're a feminist, and that's what it's really looking like. But you was cool with us, and you used the hood, and you used the guys in the hood, and you calling us your godsons. How you the godmother when you totally going against somebody from the hood that you was working with before you even interact with this woman that we don't know nothing about? And you campaigning for her. How? What's her credentials? What has she done for the city of New Rochelle? What? This is what I want to know. And this is what bothers me. It be our own people that do this type of things. They step on our back. Jared did the same thing when he was running for councilman. He came right to Hartley Projects because he knew a lot of people from school, from playing basketball, and they had influences. Jared Rice. Us black people in that community got you that seat. You brought Noam Branson on, vouched for him, and Noam stood up at a press conference defending officer who murdered my brother in cold blood. And then his excuse is going to say, well, I was just relaying what I was told. Why don't you investigate, Noam? Why don't you investigate? You the top seat in the whole city. How you just going to let other people tell you what it is, and then you go right up in front of cameras and you let it be known like that, which is bogus. I'm real with it. And this is what they trying to do. They trying to stop me from exercising my First Amendment right. And I have the right as a tax-paying citizen to talk about this. These are people that part of my money is paying salaries to. And these people are doing the city that I'm from absolutely wrong. Has to stop. Yadira Noam Branson wasn't from New Rochelle. He moved somewhere to New Rochelle, got with Jared. Jared didn't care about the hood like that anyway because he lives in Pinebrook. He was growing up in Pinebrook Boulevard. That's like going towards the water at Alberlin. He didn't really care. He brought Noam. Noam came. He brought Yadira. These is people that ain't even from here. Congressman Bowman came from the Bronx, and he's in Westchester. He does a little, but he came campaigning when there was a rally in Lincoln Park when my brother was murdered. We don't deal with me. I'm not going to deal with nobody like that. So you could call it what you want. You could be angry and upset. I'm expressing my freedom of speech, and I'm going to talk about it because I'm not going to sit here and let these people that ain't from here come out here, change laws, make laws, and it don't benefit nobody in the black communities. They took our boys club from us. There's 3 boys clubs in New Rochelle. They took the one in this particular neighborhood community where all the drugs is happening. You got people coming from all over the place using drugs in our area. There's ex-felons out there that don't have no other ways to function and progress with unless they have that boys club. That boys club saved a lot of lives. That boys club made a lot of successful people. Jared Rice attended that boys club. Why I don't understand he's not campaigning for something to happen for that boys club to be back up. He's played basketball in that boys club. He played basketball with me in that boys club. Facts. This is actual documented facts. Noam wasn't out here. He don't know nothing about Remington. Yadira don't know nothing about Remington. Jared does. Why was that boys club taken down? And Southside Boys Club on Wayman Avenue had a chemical spill, hazardous chemical spill, maybe about a year or 2 ago. It made the news and everything. How did that club get reopened when there's chemical problems around that area? Still, it's in the soil, it's in the dirt. Why that boys club wasn't knocked down? That went in the sewers, so that's in the water system. Why was that boys club not knocked down first? Why they come for Remington? See, everything is a strategic political move. They know most of the kids over here is easy and quick to get in trouble. That makes money for the police department. That keeps all these other political people in the loop because they put these laws out to campaign against this particular stuff, but it's directed right here in this one particular area. Nowhere else in New Rochelle where there's more concentration. Well, until I started speaking on it, that concentration thinned out because it used to be 7, 8, 9 cop cars parked right there at Heritage Homes everywhere you move. Sometimes it was 4 cars on Horton Avenue, a car in the gas station, cars coming down Horton Avenue, cars in Heritage, cars on Brook Street, cars going up Lincoln Avenue, cars going up Lincoln and turning off Memorial Highway. That area was concentrated until I spoke about it. Till they murdered my brother and I shut that whole thing down. And I ain't do so much as shut it down because the police still come through there. But they don't come through there and sit out there like that no more.
And harass people.
They don't harass people no more. There's no reasons for them to ask for IDs no more. Why you asking that man for ID? What's your probable cause for stopping and asking this man for ID? Because that's how they used to get their quotas. That's how they used to meet their quotas. That's how Officer Kane became a detective fast. That's how a lot of these officers, Guglielmo and all these cats, became detectives fast because Officer Guglielmo was a beat cop. He turned detective real fast because he used to be in the Heritage, Hartley area, harassing people, jumping out cars, just putting people on the walls, taking chances where hopefully catching somebody out of pocket. Sometimes they were successful, sometimes they wasn't, and they threatened to send people to jail if they went to say something about it. Internal affairs down here at New Rochelle Police Department is not a place you want to report your problems about New Rochelle Police to. It's not gonna, nothing's gonna happen out of this ordeal. They're gonna look at your complaint, they're gonna delete it or rip it up or nothing, and there's no type of reprimand's gonna happen, not even an investigation. There's an officer that was on videotape right on Main Street beating on a man while he was handcuffed, and they let that man loose. The police ain't charged that officer. He might be out of a job now, but he was facing matter of fact, they postponed this trial case. It's coming up later on in the year. I forgot, I got the paper. But the officer who murdered my brother got exonerated less than 6 months. And they said there was all this camera footage and they only show you little bits and pieces of the camera footage that they had. I have everything. Every camera angle. I have the officer's test statement through his lawyer after he was exonerated that contradicts that my footage and my proof contradicts everything that he said in that paper that the lawyer said to Low HUD. I got that copy. I got the initial pullover. I got the video. They don't want to show you where he said that Kamal stepped off into the street and a Ruger fell and Kamal picked it. I have a camera angle that shows it. That it shows Kamal off to the street. When you see like Kamal's been down and picks him up, Kamal's actually ducking from getting shot in the goddamn head. Let's talk about it. I could bring that footage up for you. I know I do that. I know for 2.5 years, I asked the county and the police to hook me up with lie detectors. And they didn't do it yet. So let's talk about all these lies coincide with everything. Angela's common denominator to the whole thing. You got people convinced that you know me very well to make me stop thinking on what I believe. Vote for Kwame Dixon, District 3. Kwame Dixon for councilman. Vote Kwame for District 3. Somebody in the neighborhood who want to change it, who want to stand up for it, and going to have community support. He already got my vote. These are 2 votes that's already ready to be cast. Because I know the man personally. I know his journey. I know where he came from. And I know where he at right now. Salute to my brother Kwame Dixon. I got your back. For real, for real. And it's not just because I know you personally. It's because I've seen the work. They say you have to show your work. Remember in school, they said you had to show your work? Angela Faris, show the work where it makes you the godmother of Horton Avenue.
Yeah, because all you do is come to the funerals when it's tragic.
You only around when tragedies. If that's your work, we don't want that. And I'm one of the people. We don't want you speaking for nothing. You have no right to speak for people on this side that you don't even do nothing for. And your office is right 2 blocks away from this community right here.
And you campaigning for a black brother that grew up in the neighborhood to not be councilman, but you won't get the boys club.
But you won't get the boys club fixed up. Speak on it, bro.
Speak on it. That's not fair. You know.
How you going against somebody that's trying to get our boys club back up and running, and you going against that? You supposed to be the godmother of the community. What's up?
Yeah, you ain't never gave like what program you started for the children.
CVR is a private-owned company in Heritage Homes now. I done went to you and spoke to you about getting people jobs out there, and your exact words were, "We don't have no say-so in that. That's CVR, but." You come into Heritage Homes claiming you the godmother of Heritage Homes in Horton Avenue. How?
What did you do for the children?
No, you're not talking to these people to get them. They got empty building spaces in Heritage Homes. Why you not talking to CVR to try and get a learning center in there for the kids?
What does CVR stand for?
I don't know.
Okay.
She knows. Why she can't get with them and get up in there and get one of them learning centers, but I guarantee you she's going to the office and she's telling them about people that live out there she thinks she knows, that she don't even deal with. You giving people false information and false hope, Miss Farish, and you supposed to be a reverend or a pastor, something like that. That's why I don't believe in that type of stuff. Minister Mark McLean don't do nothing for the neighborhood he used to get high in. And I'm not talking smoking weed. This man used to do drugs in that neighborhood. How I know? I was young and outside and seeing him outside making purchases. That ain't no lie. Let's talk about this. This is stuff that people don't want you to see, but they giving off false narratives of my community. Nah, we going to tell a story. If y'all got an opportunity and y'all telling the truth about something, why can't we speak? Oh, because y'all think y'all got us. Nah, this is up. This show's called Smoke and Mirrors. When you tired of being gassed behind the whole thing, this show is all about it. Vote for my brother Kwame Dixon, District 3. It's not even a joke, B. These people are out here playing with our lives and our livelihood.
There's children that have to grow up.
And this lady is the culprit of it all because she's running around the whole city, rocking everybody to sleep, and y'all falling for it. As soon as the person that she campaigned for get in the office and nothing happens, y'all be wanting to talk about this lady, man. I'm talking about it now. The lady's faking right now. She don't do nothing for our neighborhood. And she's running around trying to pump fear into people, intimidate people, saying that they can't sign whatever paper they want to sign. The vote hasn't been cast. You should be ashamed of yourself, godmother. You should be ashamed of yourself, godmother. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? You do nothing for us. You said you was going to show support and come to my next hearing. I ain't see you. That was just a bluff. I guess you was trying to get information out of me to see what I was going to say so you could go back and tell your quote unquote self-proclaimed godfather, Chuck Strom, right? Yeah, you said that was your godfather. I want to know how that man's your godfather and your skin. That man ain't been around you. You ain't even from here neither. You ain't from here. Where you come from? This is another thing. Where did she come from? Where she come from? She don't even live in New Rochelle, do she? I know her daughter does. I seen her this morning. But I know she don't live in New Rochelle, do she? She got a nice house. I know that. See, that lady used to be in my house. That lady used to be in my house, yo. God bless this woman. If she was alive right now, Angela wouldn't be acting the way Angela's acting right now. And if you think I'm lying, call me a liar. I can show you different. I got video footage of Miss Angela in my mom's house having drinks, talking shit about other people. I don't want to take it there. I just want you to do the right thing. Stop being a feminist. Stop using the hood and then going and then leaving the hood dry. Stop leaving the hood dry. What you doing is sad. You did the same thing. I guess what happened? Jared and Noam gave you the blueprint. Go in the hood and make the hood feel like you give a damn about them. Go in the hood and fake to the hood like you give a damn about them. Even yell a little, raise your tone, and step out with your chest out. Ask a couple questions. We're gonna play the game with you. Get on the Zoom conferences and ask a couple questions that we don't want to hear, but we know that's coming from you, so we know you don't mean it. So we're going to feed y'all the song and dance because we know the person asking the question is really on our team. You worse than the first black person that sold the slaves off to the white man. Let's talk about it. And ain't that something? You see how history repeated itself? They came with a Bible, gave it to an African, didn't know nothing about nothing, fed him a bunch of bullshit and told him, yo, we'll give you all types of riches and jewels if you can convince your people to convert to this book. He went back to his tribe and he got the ones that were stupid enough that he influenced hard enough to go by the book. He brought them back to the people. The people put chains on our people, and that's how slavery began. We were sold out by our own people. When is that going to stop? I know one thing for sure. Kwame Dixon get in office, that'll stop. because they just can't tell him anything. And he's not going to go on anything. And he's going to speak his piece. He's not going to be disrespectful, but he can be if you make him get that way. But at the end of the day, he's all for the community. My mother would be so proud to see this day. He grew up in our house too. We done been through a lot. And that man made a full turnaround. So we support this. We sponsor this. All the way from heaven. Kwame Dixon is sponsored. Kwame Dixon is sponsored all the way from heaven. Let's talk about it. All the way from heaven. That man's sponsored. And I know for a fact he's gonna win that seat because the energy and the sponsorship is coming from heaven. You can't box with God. You can't box with God. And everybody knows my mom's resume. We ain't even got to dig into that. She's sponsoring Kwame's campaign from heaven. So, in closing, stop listening to these people that feed y'all a bunch of bull.
Big politicians.
Stop listening to these people that come in and act like they with you. They just giving lip service. Tell them to come in here and do something before y'all move on something.
Show receipts too.
Be safe out there, man. It's a cold world. Stay focused. Love us.
Yeah, I don't like Miss Angela.
It's a dub for her.
I saw her at the funeral. I was like, she's phony. Why she keep coming to people's these young boys' funerals for? To cause problems. To not do nothing for nobody.